Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the National Hot Rod Past, Present and Future podcast with me and Gary Staines. And Gary, hello, Gary, the man who has National Hot Rod racing flowing through his veins. How are you doing, Gary? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very good. Very excited to be back on the show and with the news that we'll be back racing very soon. And you may have seen, he may have popped up in your sort of screen, but we're sort of celebrating with our current world and national champion, Rob McDonald, which is absolutely fantastic. So maybe you should introduce him properly, Brian.
Before I actually introduce him, I just wanted to say very quickly, thank you to everybody who's been commenting because we had loads of feedback from our interview with Dave Richardson last week, and that seemed to go down very well indeed. So thank you to everyone who's left comments, messaged us, and that's really appreciated. It's good to know that people are enjoying what we're doing, and please keep the comments coming. And also anybody you want us to chat to, then let us know that as well. But anyways, Gary has already said we're going to welcome our current world and national champion all the way up in Scotland. It's Rob McDonald. Hello, Robert. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thanks for having us on the show as well.
And we see that you've been relegated out to the car to have this conversation. But thank you. And it's great. I mean, our first ever Scottish world champion in national hot rods, having actually won this race in 2019 after years of try. It felt like you were there or thereabouts for many, many years, but didn't quite get over the line. Does it feel like you finally got that monkey off your back of winning that world title?
I would say yes. I would say more for Scottish, obviously taking the curse away from Scotland. There's been the greats down there, obviously, boys probably better than me, tried it and no succeeded. And obviously we've succeeded, so hopefully the curse is gone from Scotland, and hopefully there's many more to come up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you feel that since you've won that world title, that actually your driving has changed? Because it feels to me like you've almost come alive since winning that world championship. That whenever I've watched national hot rod racing, I mean, admittedly, we haven't had that much since July 2019, but whenever I've looked at national hot rods, it seems to be you race along on the outside of somebody. Do you think that's reflected in the fact that having won the world title, it kind of almost liberates you as a driver?
I don't think it liberates you. I think it takes a big weight off your shoulders. Although you're trying, but I think it's more like along the lines of, I've won it, like what else can I win? And just go for it, just head down and just go as fast as I can go. And obviously before, you would always hesitate and think, oh, well, I need to qualify for this, I need to qualify for that to get into the world final, to be up there. And I would say we've went a tenth quicker from the previous years, maybe even more. And the thing is, obviously, doing it is just go. That's it. Don't worry about it. No pressure. There's no pressure there anymore on achieving what we've achieved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was. It was always felt to me. I know it's easy saying, but that weekend was sort of written in the stars. Really, you was the previous few years. Obviously, spent a lot of time talking to you behind the scenes, and you really wanted it. And I know this was almost. You was going to potentially have a break after this if you hadn't won it. And it just seemed that it was your time, you had that extra confidence as well, on the hot laps. You was cool, you was calm. Did you have a funny feeling going into the weekend?
The weekend for me, the weekend obviously for me going into that was, I didn't have any pressure because I didn't obviously want to reflect that, but I never had the pressure of having to achieve. Like, I went to that meeting no really caring, obviously, not so much no caring, I wanted to win it, but obviously going to that meeting with no having the sponsors and having to think, having to think to myself, obviously my sponsors sold up in the winter time of that year,
Really?
at the start, which was PC Painted Components and obviously Deckman Fork Trucks, and they were a big part of my racing. So I didn't mean to be nasty, but like that was a big pressure off me, because when I go to the World Final and you've got that pressure of that backing of the big sponsors, you feel like you've got to achieve, you need to achieve, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I went to that meeting and I thought, I didn't need to do nothing. You know, I just need to prove myself I can do it. And that is the way I went to that World Final and National Final and National Championship, was it'll be what it'll be. And we won it. And that was the best achievement I could ever do.
If I remember rightly, you stuck it on pole and then led pretty well flag to flag. But not pretty well, you did. You led flag to flag, didn't you? But Chris Head was never that far behind. Were you under a lot of pressure from Chris Head, or did you have this under control, and were you keeping that gap as it was?
There was a bit of pressure. Obviously, at the start, I thought maybe Casey would hold him back a little bit more than what he did. But within the 8 laps, he was by him, and I thought, just keep the head, keep it down, and just go.
I think we've lost that.
Halfway through the race, I thought, I've got a gap here. I thought, that's good. And again, I thought, I thought, oh no, just keep going, go fast.
Yeah.
Just go flat out, then stop, just hit the limiter. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, brilliant.
So having that going for it, was you not at any point thinking maybe the tyres are going to go off, or you thinking the length of the race, it's just full on?
To be fair, I did kind of think I was going to go halfway through. As I started pulling that gap on Chris, and obviously between the back markers, I did put it in third gear. And I thought, I'll try and save the tyres. But when I seen him catching me again, I thought, nah, just leave it in second gear, hit the limiter. We actually went to HRP, because HRP sponsored me as well. And we went up to HRP and we practiced. Obviously, we had a few issues that year, obviously, and then we had a few issues at Thunder 500. And we says, obviously, we went back and we actually cut the thing up, just cut everything up on it.
Wow.
Changed it all. And then we went practicing on the Wednesday before the World. And basically, we went and I think we'd done 50 laps. And I just went 50 laps at the same pace. And I thought, that's really good. That's no losing the tyres. You know, the tyres weren't knackered anyway. And I went confident that I knew the car would stay the 75 laps at any pressure on the tyres that I was putting on them.
So that test session was probably pretty instrumental in you having the setup that you did and being able to keep hold of that race in the way that you did, I guess.
It was more of basically knowing in myself and confident in myself that I knew the car would do 75 laps. Because previous years to that, we've always, maybe the last 10, 15 laps, we've always lose 2 and 3 and 4 places. Because 1, I was struggling to hold it, and 2, we were burning the tyres out because we were trying to maintain instead of holding back and achieving again, and giving the tyres time to cool down. No cool down, but giving a chance to get maybe a good cycle back in them again. And by doing that, I would say I achieved that.
Yeah.
And
so
the weekend, obviously, Matt Simpson helped a lot with your setup and stuff, but I think maybe was he just helping as much as being there with you, and that sort of giving you that extra confidence and just keeping you set, because the two of you looked like, sort of really together that weekend.
Yeah, obviously we went to that weekend, as in he went to the weekend as well, as we had nothing to lose and everything to gain. But obviously with him set up, and obviously all the boys, and they achieved what we'd done when we went back from the Thunder 500. That was a major cut up and redo to get to where we were. And without the boys, and obviously that to do that, and Alec Hunter coming in and doing it for me, like without all that, and obviously the team and Matt, we wouldn't be even anywhere close to where we are just now.
Yeah. So as a driver who lives in Scotland, you have chosen for a number of years to qualify through the English point system. Do you, and I'm going to guess that's because you wanted the level of competition and to be competitive on tracks like Hensford and Ipswich. Do you think that coming through the English system was the key to being so competitive in a world final?
Well, I would say in a way yes, but in a way no. You know, the year that I done a race in Scotland, you know, I went to that World final and everybody didn't think I was going to be anywhere because I'd raced in Scotland. But I went down there and put it outside front row, outside Glenbell. No, it wasn't. I'm sure it was Chris Hare that year. I think I can't actually remember. It was Glenbell or Chris Hare the year that I done it.
Right.
And I was second quickest of the weekend, and everybody was shocked because they thought Robert's going to lose what he's got. I think racing. I think your background makes a big difference in where you've come from. I don't just think it's obviously racing in Scotland. I didn't mean it bad, but I know down in England you push yourself more because you need to, and you want to try stuff to beat Chris Hare, Billy Wood, Jason Q, Waller Barrett, Gav Murray. You know, all the big boys down there. You're obviously achieving more. You're trying to push harder. You're trying to achieve more, get more out of the engine, shockers, and setup and tyres. And obviously you've got to do that. And England does do that. But I don't think you really need to just be in England. But I've achieved it by doing it and just racing in England.
So would you say
before a long time ago, stock rods was very much your thing and a front wheel drive. How was your memory of racing those?
I loved them. They were my best years. You know, I'd done numerous amount of meetings and honestly, we achieved a lot in the stock rods. You know, we done really well in stock rods. We had some great races up and down the road, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland. You know, we used to do weekends. We would do Northern Ireland on the Friday, Saturday. We would do Wimbledon on the Sunday, and Northampton or Hensford on the Monday, and come back home in Eastbourne on Wednesdays and that. You know, wow. we lived for when we were younger, should I say, and never had any commitments and family. That was what we done. Obviously, the boys that help me now will help me then, and that's what we done. You know, we would leave in Tuesday night. We'd leave at 12 o'clock at night, and we would travel down to Eastbourne racing the Wednesday, and then come back up the road and stay for Birmingham on the Saturday and come home. You know, that was what we achieved in the stock road. But they were the good times, good years.
That's so demanding, such a demanding schedule. I was looking at the championships that you've won in a stock rod, a couple of national championships and a European championship. And the bit that strikes me is that apart from your world final win in nationals, most of your success seems to have happened at Hensford. So I'm guessing you're going to say that Hensford is the track that suits your driving style best.
Hensford's good because it's so demanding, the same as Ipswich. But I just basically, yes, we did achieve a lot at Hensford. We have achieved a lot at Hensford, and because Hensford's so fast and so the corners are so banked, and it's so good to drive on, that Hensford is my best track, to be fair, yes. But I do like the small short tracks as well. On our day when the car's good, your Loch Gellies, even your older shots, you know, we come good through there all the time. And obviously that Yarmouth meeting, we just unfortunately caught the water in the final, and obviously we went in the wall, well, in the post, got a lot of damage.
We lost a bit of sound there, but I think you were talking about the Yarmouth meeting. Your sound cut out a bit there, Robert. But I was at that Yarmouth meeting, and I remember you hitting that post proper hard. Car came to a dead stop, and it was Ipswich the following day. And you were in the pits going, oh, the car's really bent. It's going to be rubbish. It's going to be awful. And you came out and you turned in one of the best performances I've seen. I think you won Heat 1, didn't you, at Ipswich the following day? And it was almost the incident at Yarmouth that almost spurred you on to do so well at Ipswich the following day. Was that the case, do you think?
Yeah, well, that was the thing as well. We had nothing to lose. We got the car roughly, obviously going back to Chris Haird's, we had chains on it, we had ropes on it, we had everything on it, and porta pillars just to pull it back into some kind of shape. And we went to that meeting the same as like we did the World Final. And we thought, we're here, all we need to do is score points and give it my all, and that's what we've done. And the car was fast. The car was really good which was surprising for how bad the car was. And to be fair, I was actually coming home, and if it wasn't for Alec Hunter, on the way back to the hotel, he's like, "Nah, we're going to Chris's, we're going to fix it." I was like, "It's mangled, it's destroyed, the chassis legs destroyed, and the points are away, the shocker's bent, it's done the wheels, the wishbones, everything." I says, "What? It's destroyed. Let's go home." He's like, "No, we're not going home. We're going back there." I says, "Right, okay, let's go." So we went back, and I don't think we got home till about 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning from Chris Haird's back to the hotel, and then obviously back to back to Ipswich to finish setting it up, because we never set it up, we just straightened it at Chris's bit.
Absolutely
It's
brilliant.
so rewarding to then go out and grab the win, and I think that's also a testament to people within Chris helping you, and he's done that with many other people. But I think that generally within the National Hot Rod paddock, there's so much help from everyone, isn't it? Even your biggest rivals will pitch in and help.
Yeah, I don't think, we spoke to me and Chris, obviously really good friends, and that we speak about it. And National Hot Rods, and now doesn't seem to be not a conflict of interest, but there's no fallout with anybody. Like, everybody will speak to everybody. There doesn't seem to be a bad rival with anybody now, which is good, because you go to a National Hot Rod meeting and you don't feel like I can't pass him because I'm going to get wrecked, or you might get wrecked from his pal or something like that. It doesn't feel like that. It's not like that anymore. That animosity is all gone, in my opinion, and it's a better racing.
That's really interesting. And what you say about the drivers' relationships with each other. I was watching Speedworth TV this week, and John Aylward was on there, and he was saying how it annoys him that people keep talking about, oh, it's not as good as the old days, the big three, oh, it's not as good as the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. He's saying these days are as good as any. And he actually rated you and Chris Haird and Shane Bland as the modern day big three. And that kind of level of entertainment is still there. And I would probably agree with him that watching you on the outside line at Yarmouth or to Aldershot or Ipswich is pure entertainment. And that level of showmanship appears to be in the sport still. And, do you feel like that the likes of you and Chris Haird are the characters of the sport that people are coming to see?
Listen, I don't think that me and Chris are the only people there. You've got good drivers as well, and on their day and on their time, they're just as good, if no better, than us. And they will achieve round outside. The biggest problem with me is I can't sit in the inside. I can't sit in a train. It's just not me. And good. See the boys that come with me, and I'll try Aldershot and outside line every time, and I'll lose 3 and 4 places, and I'll come off, and they'll be like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do this?" I'm like, I can't sit there. It's just no me. I'll lose 3 places or 5 places before I can sit in a train just to score points. It's just no me. And you do see your Chris Hairds, your Shane Blands, yes, everybody, even your Willa Barretts and your Wee Jew and stuff like that, and even Gavin Murray on their day and Billy Wood, they'll go round outside. I don't think it's just us that go and see, but I think, yes, the other thing is we don't hesitate. We just go around. Again, it's like just nothing to lose, is it? You just go for it.
And it's good to see you chasing the points again to become English champion potentially again. I know you were a Scottish person. I always made me laugh at when you won the English points, but you're not far away behind Chris and 3 rounds to go. So you fancy it again?
I'm no pressuring myself into it. I've qualified for the world. I'll still do all the rounds. It'll be what it'll be. Me and Chris had a good rival. Obviously, the year was kind of destroyed with me and him. But in 2018-19, when we were doing the point series, we went down to the last meeting at Aldershot. And I think he bet maybe 3 points or 5 points or something like that. You know, that's how close it was between me and him. And like we go to the meeting, and I've not got a rival with Chris. You know, it is what it is, and I would never have the rival with anybody on points for the championship. I don't think Hot Rods is like that. Do you know what I mean? I think Hot Rods is out to win, which you are, and the championship meetings points didn't mean, I'm not being hangry, but it didn't mean nothing to me, if you know what I mean. You know, we went to the Stock Rod days and we won the national points champions. I was 5 years in a row or 6 years in a row in the Stock Rods. And I had my time worrying about points and I want to win the national champ. I want to win the Stock Rod national points champion in Scotland. I want to win it. You know, Gunnar won it 10 in a row. And I was the first person to take it off him from that 10 in a row. And then I had it for the 5 years or 6 years that I had it. So that was my achievement back then, because that's what you were gaming for. You were wanting the points. You were wanting that. You were wanting this. Nationals, I would love the English flag back in my roof because I'm a Scotsman. I would love to put it back. I'd love to put it back in my roof, but it'll be what it'll be. I'm not going out to say I'm going to try and rival for it, because I'm just going to go out and do my racing. If I win it, I win it.
According to my complex calculations, you are 17 points off Chris Head and 2 points ahead of Jason Q. So it's very, very tight. The problem is we don't know how many qualifiers we're going to get in before the series comes to an end. But it's within reach, isn't it?
Everything's within reach. You know, it is definitely within reach for me and Jason to obviously catch Chris. But, you know, on Chris, he doesn't crash. It's always me that crashes. He doesn't crash, and I always wreck myself. And he just plods along by me and laughs at me every time.
Yeah, Mr. Boring, Chris. He's Mr. Boring. So
not at all.
I see on the calendar that Scotland is scheduled the first meeting back, and possibly the European. Do you know anything about that? Whether that's going to take place?
I've not heard anything about it. I spoke to Dean obviously a couple of weeks back, and he says obviously that he was obviously going to run the world final and stuff like that. And I just says, yes, yeah. Carry on. I says, do it. I says, what about the European? And he says, we're going to try and run it maybe in May. Or sorry, he says he didn't know it was going to happen, but the European. But he was hoping still to run it so that obviously somebody got the chance of winning that game.
Yeah. And you've come close a few times, and obviously, I guess that would mean a lot for you to win that on the home soil in front of all your home fans.
Yeah, that'd be a good achievement as well. You know, to win that in May and then go to the world and hopefully win that again, would be brilliant.
Yeah. Of course, you did the thing that a lot of drivers have done in the past. The reigning world champion goes on to win the national championship. Seems to be almost a pattern that has developed over the years. And that national championship, you had Jack Blood as competition to start off with. And then you got past him after a stoppage where I think his brakes went away. And again, back at Hensford. So that national championship, I mean, you're probably looking to retain that as well. I mean, a silly question, but world and national have got to be pretty high up on your list of things to do this year.
Oh, definitely. Retain what I have would be a really good achievement. And that is my goal, to obviously to win them again. You know, if I've got to go testing that again, that's what we'll do. But hopefully we'll get a few meetings in the Thunder 500 and that before it. And we'll get a good bit of meetings down at Ipswich and then obviously up to Hennisford after that.
So, how have you kept yourself busy in the lockdown and stuff? Has it affected you much, or are you?
No, really. To be fair with me, we work with the waste companies, and obviously we've got recycling plants and that we look after. And so no, it's not really affected us too much, to be fair, because obviously it's waste companies, skip companies, and that we do work for. And obviously aggregates side it as well.
And all the spare time, the time that was once spent looking after what have you been doing with that?
I've not been doing anything with that. That's my problem. I think that when lockdown hit, like a lot of people's obviously wanting skips at their house because they've been getting on furlough and stuff like that. So my time, to be fair, is went mayhem, because it's work, and that's the way it's went. And obviously everybody's worked, you know, skip companies, waste companies, the recycling side of it's obviously went booming because folk are doing the gardens. So,
Yeah.
but we've got a 2 litre hot rod as well. We're going to have a wee play in one of them. Kind of really been sponsored one of them for Pro Tire. So we're going to muck about with one of them up here as well. You know, we done a meeting last year at HRP, in Wayne Lee's car. So we've obviously got that as well. And we're going to have a wee shot at that.
That's going to be good to see. So with the World and National kind of ticked off, what are your plans beyond the National Championship? Are you going to be carrying on with Nationals as well as the 2 litre? Are you still thinking of commuting down into the English series? What are your kind of plans for the next 12 months or so, all being well?
The plan is my Nationals my priority. My Nationals my number one priority. We're going to come back to England next year as well, and do down there. You know, I love racing down there. I can't say I didn't, because I do. It's I don't so much love the travelling anymore. But I do love the racing. I love the atmosphere. You know, you go to the meeting, everybody's telling me to shut up. Well, go away. You know, just because I'm always shouting at them and stuff like that. And I love the atmosphere. I love the carry on. I got on great with everybody down there.
Just
I'd miss it.
To give us perspective, how long does it take you to get from your house, which has got to be up somewhere? It's towards the north of Scotland, isn't it? Down to Aldershot.
I'm from in between. I'm actually in Armadale, which is old stock car track, in between Edinburgh and Glasgow. But to Aldershot, it'll take us 7.5 hours. It's the same to Ipswich.
So you're looking at a 15-hour round trip.
480 mile to Ipswich.
That's serious commitment, and hats off to you, because that's big commitment. Towing a car as well.
Towing the van and trailer. No, it's good. To be fair, we've got obviously good boys that come with me as well, so they take a shot and makes it easier sometimes if they take a shot.
Yeah.
So the racing back home, so National Hot Rods and Hot Rod Racing has got great heritage in Scotland. Some great tracks. What does it need to get back to, you know, sort of double numbers and stuff? What needs to happen in Scotland?
I couldn't tell you, Gary, to be fair. You know, I tried, obviously my cousin John Sibbald, he tried to and make people come out, not make them, but try to help them come out. You know, I raced up here and I tried to encourage them, and you know, you were going to a meeting, you were trying to encourage them, try to help them set their cars up and try to just try this and try that. And, you know, but I don't know. I don't really know what could happen up here. I think there's like 12 or 13 registered drivers in Scotland.
Yeah.
But they don't come out. I don't know if it's commitments, work commitments, or what it actually is. It's causing the problem. Because the racing up here is good. When everybody's out, the racing is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the success of the 2 litres as well. You know, there's obviously quite a bit of competition. So, you know, hot rod racing is still strong, isn't it? And, you know, the population is not massive, to be fair, and a lot of tracks. So, you know, I mean, I think it's fantastic when you go to the atmosphere, and the love of the racing is, you can really feel it when you're there. But it'd just be nice to get that sort of the series with 10 cars plus would be fantastic. Oh,
brilliant. 10 cars plus would be the answer, and it would be really good up here, especially around Cowdenbeath. You know, Cowdenbeath and even Lochgelly, you know, it would be a really, really good thing. But getting them out is the problem.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you're running the Tigra at the moment. We're seeing a lot of new shapes, new chassis coming out, in the process of coming out. Is the Tigra still the way forwards for you?
Tigra is the way forward for me just now. I've put a lot of time into it with Sonny Howard on the car as well. You know, I didn't want to, you know, Sonny's been a big part of my hot rod career as well. From obviously Matt and obviously the boys that helped me. But what we've got in the car from Sonny and Matt is basically I couldn't change it. It would take me too long to put back to what I've got. And then what do I change it to? What do I go? what do I go to as there's the next answer.
Yeah. That's what you're talking about, Sonny Howard. I was thinking only the other day about the Mazda that Terry Humm was running for a while, and that's kind of disappeared off the scene when he went to the Fiesta. And I'm guessing the Mazda just never really got off the ground, did it?
It didn't. It didn't. I don't think Terry and Sonny spent a lot of time on it. Obviously, Mikey Godfrey's got it now.
Really?
Yeah, Mikey Godfrey's got it now, and I think it would be something to look at, whether we build one, because I'm kind of that person. I'd like to do something different for everybody else and get something different, a different shape that nobody else has got, and be one of the first to come out, or something out there that somebody's no got, just to try and achieve what somebody else is, what we've got on the car we've got.
Mm. Yeah.
You've got the gold roof, so that's the one they're all looking for. And like you say, if you went for a big change, this could be a sort of step back, couldn't it? So it's it would be crazy. So gold roof, and a gold roof for sort of 2 years, which is sort of a one-off type thing. You fancy your chances this year then?
I don't think we've got a bad chance. I think we've got a really good chance. I think everybody's got a good chance for the amount of racing that we've done. I think with nobody's really been out and done 75 laps. We've always been missing a meeting, doing a meeting, and the cars are sitting again there. So coming out for 3 meetings and then going straight back into the World Final for 75 laps, I think could be a disaster for a lot of people on engine-wise, because I've been sitting all winter, and then I've been sitting for another 3 and 4 months, and then, for no starting them and stuff like that, but we're on the same, for everybody, gearbox sitting there dry and not getting used, and diffs as well. Yeah, I think it'll be a big reality shock when we all go back racing.
It's interesting. It's a side of it that you don't think about. You think, oh, you can just get back in and go for it. But as you say, the cars have just been parked up. And I guess that when we do get back racing, it's probably going to be quite intense. I know we've got the Yarmouth Ipswich doubleheader scheduled in. I think the Thunder 500 is due to be a qualifier as well. I think the World Final is going to be here before we know it, isn't it?
It's going to be here before we know. What, we're 3 months away in the World Final or something like that. There. I'm quite looking forward to it. I've missed last year. I hate going to Ipswich. I don't hate it, but I'm not that kind of person that likes interviews all the time. I didn't like signing stuff. I'm kind of like, when Garry comes up with his phone and that, I'm like, go away. I didn't want to speak to you. Go away. I don't like it, but I actually did miss it this year because my family comes with me as well, and obviously that's a big part. Like that's a big part of what I do at Ipswich, and I did miss it this year, to be fair.
Well,
every time you tell me to go away, I keep coming back harder, Rob. So
yeah.
I know we've had a few drivers on that sort of are dreaming of becoming world champion. So can you sort of give a message out to the likes of Shane Bland? How good does it feel to be world champion? Just tell them, please.
It feels good. It feels good to be world champion. If you're even better, I want it again.
Brilliant. What a way to finish it. Our time here is up already. It's been really good to chat to you, Rob. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us. The first ever Scottish National Hot Rod World Champion. Many have tried before. You're the first one that's made it happen. Question is can you make it 2 in a row, 3 in a row if we count 2020? And we're going to be watching. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really good to chat to you. We're wishing you the best of luck as we head towards July and the remaining qualifying rounds. And we'll look forward to seeing you back on the grid, hopefully sooner rather than later. So, thanks for joining us, Rob.
Thanks for having us on.
And thank you, Garry, as well.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And top man, Rob, look forward to seeing you back, with my phone pointing at you soon.
And thank you to everybody for joining us. As always, we'll be back again with another one of these. We call them podcasts. They're not really podcasts because you can see us as well, but one of these broadcasts, hopefully very soon. thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.